I'm Alyne, and welcome to my kitchen.
Oops, I caught her off guard there for a second.
That's okay. And today I'm going to be making probably one of my all-time favorite holiday drinks, eggnog. And now I've not made this particular recipe before. I have made eggnog before. And to be honest, Peggy was never a big fan of eggnog until I made my homemade eggnog.
They can't get me drink that store-bought stuff. It just,
Yeah. So, I'm not sure how this one's going to turn out. I couldn't find my other recipe or I'd have made it. But the ingredients for this, and I don't know if Piggy has it. You got it on the ingredients, Piggy?
I does now.
Okay. My ingredients. I have 4 cups of half and half, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, 9 large egg yolks, and that's just the yolks.
That almost sounds like the Christmas song.
3/4 of a cup of sugar. I have, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and a teaspoon of vanilla flavor extract. Okay. And off to the side here, I have a pitcher and a sieve. And, of course, it has my stir and my whisk.
I suppose y'all notice that picture. If y'all think it looks a little stained, it is. Of course, that thing is over 20 years old. So, go figure.
Yeah. And I also have a thermometer. Now, you don't have to have a thermometer, but I've got my thermometer. And the reason being is you want to cook this till it's 170 degrees. And you're either going by looks, time, or thermometer. And I am going by thermometer this time. Now, what you do with this is probably the simplest recipe I've ever seen for eggnog.
Yeah, we're going to compare how it tastes to that other thing she did.
Yeah. In a large saucepan, you pour your 4 cups of half and half. And yes, Piggy, I've got you some more dishes over here.
That's all right.
You pour your
Part of what I'm here for.
heavy whipping cream. Try to get as much of that out as I can. Come on, get out of there. Yeah, there we
Need a scrapey?
Yeah, give me a scrapey. I don't want to waste none of that cream. Y'all, that stuff's expensive. Not that I'm complaining about it because I like this stuff, but if you go and buy this at a store, as far as the eggnog,
I'm saying.
for a quart of eggnog, you're paying almost $4. If you buy a half a gallon of eggnog, you're paying between $6 and $8, depending on the brand. And don't get me wrong, it's worth it if you like it. But homemade is slightly cheaper.
Not by much, because that half and half is getting more expensive by the day.
Well, it's a half a gallon, a half and half for almost $5, and I only used 4 cups of it, so I can get 2 batches out of that. All right, now you put your eggs in there. Well, I have a scraper so I can get my egg yolks out. I had one dust on me, y'all, but that's okay.
It's going to get busted up anyhow.
It's going to get broke up, busted up anyhow. And as far as the meringues that come, or the egg whites that come off of those yolks, all I can say is I'm gonna find a recipe where I can use those. I'm not wasting on 9 egg whites.
With as expensive as everything's gotten.
That's it. You got to use what you can use, how you can use it.
That's it.
All right, now it says to stir all this together very well before putting it on to cook. So it means you want to make sure that your egg white, your egg yolks are mixed in well with the sugar and the cream and the half and half. Now I've never done this one, like I said, because most of them that I've done, you have to temper your egg yolks. You don't mix them in with the cream to cook them. So we're going to see how this turns out. And you see I got a strainer, so when I pour it up after I cook it, if for some reason any eggs get scrambled in this, they'll stay in the sieve and not go down into the eggnog. And that is, that is something that might happen. It's not saying you did anything wrong. It's just saying that it might have been a little bit too hot or something and the egg yolks cooked very well.
Practice makes perfect.
That's it. It's been years since I've made eggnog. I love it. Don't get me wrong.
That's to say, that just because you don't get something right the first time don't mean you give up.
Okay, now as you see, I've got all that mixed up very well. And what it says to do is to cook this on medium heat. I've got this set on medium heat now. And Piggy over there making noise, but we'll forgive him because he's washing and drying dishes.
Noisy, noisy.
Okay, now what this said to do is that in a large saucepan, combine the half and half, the cream, the sugar, and the yolks. Whisk until well blended. Then you want to cook over medium heat, continuous. Y'all, I can't talk. Continuously whisking.
She's got the I think syndrome today.
For 8 to 10 minutes, or until my thermometer reads 170 degrees. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for 8 minutes. And I'm going to stir this, and I will occasionally check the temperature on it to make sure what it is. And then once it reaches 170 degrees, I'll remove it from the heat, add my remaining ingredients, stirring well until it says to stir until it's slightly cooled, and then add your remaining ingredients is what it says to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to stir this for the next 8 minutes, and then I will check the temperature on it and see if I need to cook it any longer. If I don't, we'll be back to finish it up. If I do, then I'll continue to cook. So I'll see you in about 8 minutes or so.
All right.
Okay, y'all, it's been right at 8 minutes, and I'm sitting at 113 degrees, so I know that it's going to have some more time to it. I'm actually going to put another 5 minutes on, and if it takes 5 minutes, fine. If it don't, then I'll let you know how much it is. I just wanted to let y'all know that, I'm at 116 degrees right now. Like I said, it's been right at 8 minutes, maybe 8.5. So, it's going to take longer than 8 to 10 minutes on my stove.
A lot of it has to do with the atmosphere surrounding you. That this being an older home, it is not temperature controlled.
Right.
So everything in the house is going to be cooler or warmer depending on the time of year. So therefore, the induction top has to not only try to warm up, heat up the pot, it's having to fight against the cold surrounding it.
Yeah. Even though it's comfortable here in the house.
Yeah, it's a lot better than it was. We'd sealed up a lot of stuff up and made it a lot better, but it's still an older house, and it's going to absorb the outside temps a lot more than a lot of houses because it's just wasn't built to specs that they're built to today.
And you'll notice I am trying to continuously stir this stuff, which is what it said, continuously whisk. And, I mean, it's looking good from what I can see. And what's funny is Piggy and I were just talking about the last time I made it. He thought I had made it within the past year or so. And I told him, no. I said, it's been several years since I've made homemade eggnog.
Yeah, last time she made it here, we had an actual stove.
Yeah.
So.
And that was my stove at that time was messing up. It would cook hot. It would cook low. It didn't matter what you put the temperature on. It cooked at its own pace.
The thermostat on it wasn't too good.
Right. If it wanted to cook fast, it cooked fast. If it wanted to cook slow, it cooked slow. If it wanted to cook hot, it cooked hot. It didn't matter. And you could never cut the oven completely off. Even though it was off, it was still on.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we got rid of it is because it wouldn't never truly turn off. So
right.
that's makes for a bad electric bill.
Not only a bad electric bill, but if something were to happen, you'd catch your house on fire.
Right.
And I'm sorry, we might not have much, but I want to keep what I got.
Right.
All right, y'all, we're sitting at 133, almost 134 degrees right now, and I've got 3 minutes left of that 5. So that means we have cooked it for 10 minutes already.
As it gets hotter, it should start going more quickly.
Right.
Because milk and cream and eggs and all like that being in the fridge on top of everything else makes for a cold combination to try to warm up.
And I did let them sit out for a good 20 minutes, but at least while I was prepping everything. But that's still not enough to warm them up completely.
I imagine there's quite a few out there that knows about older houses and what we're talking about. And
right.
I know there's one or two we've chatted with that, you know, have mentioned that very thing. Always talking about it.
Okay, it says 137. Over here it says 138. Kind of like a hot spot on a. Yeah, I'm saying 132 right there.
It basic physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take a lot of variables into account.
Okay, we're at 139 right there. Make sure it's not touching the bottom of that pan. We're at 140. And it looks like we're going to have to add at least 3 more minutes to it. Because we're down to 40-something seconds and we're sitting at 142. We still got almost 30 degrees to go.
Right.
So it's going to take longer than 10 minutes to cook, y'all. At least it will on mine. Now, that's why I said if you're going to make a homemade eggnog, it is best to have a thermometer to make sure you get it to where you need it and not just go by the cook time of the recipe.
Yeah, you got to take into the conditions surrounding your area into account when cooking. You know, it might say a certain time, but, you know, you might live in a hotter environment. You might live in a colder environment. You got to take that into account.
You want to show them what it looks like, Peggy?
Oh, I suppose I do that.
That's okay. You see, I mean, it looks good. I don't see any curdling in it. It does have some bubbles where I whisk it.
Yeah.
Okay, Peggy. Yeah. And it is setting at 149 degrees. I added 4 minutes to it. We'll see how that does. I'll tell you what, we'll be back in about 4 minutes or when it reaches 170, whichever comes first.
All right. Done.
Okay, y'all. It's almost the end of the 4 minutes, and I'm sitting at 162. So we figure we cooked it for 8 minutes and another 5 minutes. That's 13. Then you add 4, that's 17. And it looks like I'm going to have to add at least another 2. See how it goes from there. Because I'm at 163. We'll see what it does. Because it shouldn't take it long to get to that 170. I'm at 164.
Yeah. Well, the amount of time invested in something like this isn't a thing, because if it tastes as good as some of the other she's made, it's worth it.
Yeah, the thing about it is, I mean, the rough part is it's going to have to sit for 8 hours before we can try it, so it can cook.
Really?
Yeah.
Bummer.
I know. I mean, I can take a taste of it with a spoon to see how it tastes once I get it.
Wouldn't be the same.
It won't be the same because you want it cold. And it said to let it cool or chill, refrigerate for 8 hours. Oh, yeah, we up to the 166 mark. We're doing good. So it'll be this evening before we can drink any of it. That's okay.
Probably tomorrow.
And it could be tomorrow.
We're going on almost 2 o'clock.
Well, 8 hours to make it 10 o'clock right before we go to bed. And I don't really need it right before we go to bed to give you
No, you don't. That's what I said, probably tomorrow. That's all right. It'll be even cooler.
Yeah, it says you can refrigerate for 8 hours or up to 2 days before serving.
Well, it might be good to follow that.
Yeah. And if this is good, I may be making some more for Christmas Eve for me and Piggy for our Christmas Eve
Nibble Fest.
Nibble Fest. That's right. All right, y'all, we're at 169 with 16 seconds to go. I'm not going to add any more time to the timer. I'm at 170.
There it is.
There it is. So, figure it took right at 17 minutes on my stove to reach the 170 mark. Okay. Now, I just have to continue to whisk. It's removed from heat, add beating mixture, whisking mixture, until slightly cool. And slightly cool to me will be bringing it back down to about 140 before I add anything to it. What? It's upside down.
Or when you stop seeing steam come off of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can see that real well, but
There we go. Move it over here. Y'all, my arm has had a workout on this. And I have got this right here, and it's back down to 79 degrees. So I'm going to see what the temperature is on this real quick. I know it's still up over 100, that's for sure.
that workout she's been getting on that might mean a lot less back scratching later on.
I'm saying no back scratching tonight. Okay, it's fluctuating. It's going down 137, 138, 143. Okay, it's just taking its time. It's in the 150s. I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to go ahead and stir this for probably about another 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll be back. And I'll let you know about how long it was. And when I come back, I'll add the other 3 ingredients and pour it into my pitcher. All right, we're back. And it is now cooled to less than 140 degrees. It's roughly about 138 going down. Piggy had to help me stir, y'all. My arm was giving out. All right. Now, the cinnamon on this is optional. You do not have to add the cinnamon. It's entirely up to you. I like cinnamon in my nutmeg. Cinnamon in my I like cinnamon in my eggnog. And I like nutmeg in my eggnog. I'll be right.
That was funny.
Yeah, I like cinnamon in my nutmeg too, y'all. That's good. Now I'm going to mix this right here together. And this is what it looks like.
Mike, leave that one alone.
Ooh, I told y'all I couldn't talk today, y'all.
Oh, he knows why I said that.
All right. This is what the mixture looks like. And it says, once you mix all this together, pour it into a pitcher or a bowl. And then cover and refrigerate. Now, I'm pouring mine into a pitcher. To me, it makes it easier to pour instead of dip out. Got that mixed together. Now comes the fun part, y'all. I'm going to give this right here to Piggy. And then I'm going to start pouring this right here.
Oh, yeah. You want your scraper to scrape
Yeah,
that
go
out?
ahead and do that. Give me the scraper.
Rounded one?
That's fine. That's just going to get the last that little nutmeg and cinnamon mixture stuff out of there. All right. And I'll give that right there to the Piggy to wash for me here in a minute. And you'll see it's not quite even a half a gallon. It's maybe a little over around a quart or so. But that's fine. And that's what's left in my strainer. That's why you want to strain it, folks. That might be a little bit of egg right there that got a little bit too cooked.
Yeah.
And you don't want that in your mixture. And like I said, it'll happen to everybody. That's why you strain it, to get all that stuff out.
Go ahead and have that. Let me rinse that out so it don't get stuck.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some plastic wrap around the top of this. I would put the lid on it. I don't know what happened to the lid. Piggy told you these things are close to 20 years old, so the lid's done gone.
I don't think I remember you having the lids when you brought them.
No, these were yours. These were the ones with the blue and the white lids.
Oh, okay. They got top on there.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm going to put the plastic wrap on this, put it in the refrigerator, and we'll come back tomorrow and try this and see how it tastes. If it tastes half as good as it smells, we're in for a treat, y'all, because it smells good. I've been smelling it since it started cooking. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, y'all. It's the next day. The eggnog is chilled thoroughly. And
You want that in the picture?
no, I'll set that right there for a minute just to take a picture of the glasses. It smells good, y'all. And I'm hoping it tastes good.
Okay.
All right, put that there. I'll grab me one, give Piggy one. And I don't remember if I told y'all as I was making it, but the cinnamon is optional. You do not have to put the cinnamon in this. Oh, that's got a good flavor.
It does.
That's really good. And it's not overly sweet.
You ever get to making your cinnamon extract, you use that instead of cinnamon.
Yeah.
Might blend better. But it's good.
That's really good. If you like eggnog, this is a very quick, easy recipe.
Yeah.
And it tastes good. Now, admittedly, it only made about, a quart? And my other recipe did make a gallon. So what I may do is try to find my other recipe and make it, so it'll give you a comparison of what you can get out of it. But as far as overall taste, this is very good. And Piggy's done drink his, y'all. And Piggy don't drink a lot of eggnog. He don't drink a lot of milk products at all.
Dairy is hard on the piggy.
Yeah. But, yeah, I would say this is a definite win. So, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Cheers, y'all. Bye, y'all.
Where's my